Hey guys, Avilo here, bringing you metagame update number 28. It's been a while, but it's time. So Blizzard just, it turns out they realized that it's not good that there's only Protoss and Zerg players in StarCraft 2, guys. And so they released a little balance update saying that maybe Terrans should also be in the game. Apparently, they finally realized this. Months later, after, you know, every fucking Terran player is being eliminated by Protoss players. So anyways, this metagame update is going to be talking a little bit about that, and I'm also going to talk about the map pool, because it's just face palm worthy, you know, just epic face palm. All right, so first of all, guys, is Protoss imbalance still? Yes and no. For the people that have, you guys have heard me on stream a bajillion times if you watch my stream. If you haven't watched my stream, why is Protoss versus Terran broken? A couple reasons, and it's been the same way for months. But the main reasons are the early game massively favors Protoss. There's too many ways, too many opening builds for Protoss, and because of the Mothership Core Nexus Cannon, it's actually literally because of the Nexus Cannon alone, Terran is forced into Reaper Expand every game. You can't open up one base Cloak Banshee, you can't open up one base anything, because if you try to do any type of one base build, they click their Nexus and shut it down, and that means they're on two Nexus, more production, more economy, and by the time the Nexus Cannon ends, they have another Nexus Cannon, and you lose the game because you can't play one base against two base Protoss. So that's a huge reason why the early game is balanced, and because of that, you know, then it snowballs. Then the metagame actually snowballs, the way people play the game. Because of that, because they know, Protoss players know that Terran has to go Reaper Expand every game, it allows them all the options in the world. They can go DT Expand, they can go DT Drop, Stargate, Oracles, they can open up Proxy Oracle every game, they can go Blink Stalkers, they can go Fast High Time. There's a bajillion options Protoss has compared to the one that Terran has, which is Reaper Expand. That's the only real option, and of course what that means is every game Terran has to play macro game 100% of TVPs. There's no way you ever win the game in the first 10 minutes against Protoss unless they mess up really badly, whereas the Protoss has so many ways to win in the first 10 minutes that are very difficult to scout on top of everything else. So that's why TVP is broken, and of course all that leads to Protoss having an advantage later on in the game, because if they want to, they can just play straight up macro, just normal macro, and just, you know, get to late game and have an advantage, because, you know, Terran's sort of stuck in this place where the first 10 minutes of the game, you're just guessing if Protoss is going to all-in you or not. You have to figure out which one of the 20 all-ins they're doing, and there are literally 20. I've listed them out, and other players have listed them out as well. And it's tough. It's too hard for one side. It's imbalanced. It's too difficult for the Terran player, where it's too easy for the Protoss. So something needs to be adjusted there. And the thing is that this latest balance status update from Blizzard does nothing at all. Of course, as usual, to address the main issue, which is exactly that. They want to. David Kim, of course, wants to buff bio more and make bio upgrades cheaper, which is just the most left field change. That change, it just comes out of left field. You're just like, well, that doesn't actually address any of the issues at all. All that does is buff bio, which we know David Kim loves his bio play and he hates mech. Although the second change they mentioned would actually, the second change was they want to make it so Hellions can transform once you get an armory, and then they remove the upgrade. Guess what, guys? Let's be honest here. That should have been in the game since release. Hellions should have been able to do that since the release of the game. That was one of the things promoted in the design and the Terran gameplay, that you would be able to transform your Hellions into this unit that would help you out against mass charge lots and help mech out. That should have been in the game. That should have been in the game the last 8 to 9 months. Hellions should have been able to transform like that the entire time. But because of people complaining after like 2 weeks of like the beta, they like added the Hellion transformation upgrade, they made it expensive, they made an armory requirement, they did all this stuff. That should have been in the game since the start, the ability to transform your Hellions once you get an armory or whatever. That should have been in the game since the start, guys. That change 100% should go through. If Blizzard is smart, and if they're smart, that change should go through. And of course, Protoss and Zergs, their argument is going to be, but now we might lose games early on. Well, no shit. That's exactly the issue here. That's part of the imbalance, and that's why Terran is underpowered compared to Zerg and Protoss. There's a lot of all-ins from Zerg, Roach Bane, Ling Bane, 2-base Muta. There's all these different all-ins that Zerg have, or 1/1 Roach, timing. Protoss has all those, you can actually list like 2 pages of Protoss all-ins. Whereas Terran, what does Terran have for early game aggression? They have 11/11 racks, and that's it. That's really it. 11/11 racks. That's like the only one that's really ever kills anybody early on in the game, and it's so telegraphed, and if you scout it, it's sort of like a free loss for the Terran and a free win for the opponent. So yeah, that Hellion change should definitely go through. I'm not just saying that as a Terran, I'm saying that as somebody that watches the game, and that upgrade is actually never researched. Except, I research it. People that play mech, if you play mech and you play late game like Turtle Mech, yeah, you get the upgrade eventually. But 90% of games that you watch and spectate professionally, they never get the upgrade because they play bio all the time. Which brings me back to the other point. David Kim, why the fuck is he trying to buff bio more? You don't need... First of all, if they wanted to tweak things, instead of making bio upgrades cheaper for Terran, they should put the Protoss upgrades back to what they used to be, where it was actually an investment, and you couldn't just chrono boost your forges out with those early upgrades and get a free advantage. So if they want to do something like that, instead of randomly buffing bio, they should actually increase the Protoss upgrade cost if they wanted to go that route. I think both routes are stupid. What they should be doing is fixing the early game. They should be get rid of the Nexus Cannon, weaken the Nexus Cannon. Here, the Nexus Cannon should have range only to the point that a Banshee should be able to harass a Protoss mineral line without being shot back by the Nexus Cannon. That's the extent that they should nerf it. And why am I saying that? Because then suddenly that opens up Cloak Banshee builds again. It opens up 1/1 builds. It opens up a huge, a much wider range of Terran openings are possible because they're not just shut down by the click of a button. And speaking of a click of a button, they just need to remove that shit. The Nexus Cannon, here's a quick little story. If you watch my stream, I was ranking up an account yesterday, or 2 days ago. I was ranking up an account. I was playing Diamond. My account was currently in Diamond, the account I was ranking up. And I was playing a TVP against a Diamond Protoss player, and I went to do a Widow Mine drop. And when I got to the opponent's natural, he clicked his Nexus. And he was able to defend the drop. And so you guys are probably wondering, what's the punchline here? What's the story here? Well, that's exactly the issue. A Diamond player was able to defend a Grandmaster level Terran player's attack the same exact way that a Grandmaster Protoss does it, or the same exact way that a Bronze Protoss does it, and that's fucking stupid. That needs to be removed from the game. It should have been gone ages ago. That does not belong in StarCraft. The fact that a Diamond player and a Grandmaster's Protoss player can equally defend some sort of attack just by the click of a button, they're the same skill level, that's fucking stupid. Let's be real, let's be honest here, that's fucking stupid. That should not exist in an RTS game whatsoever. Something that easy that removes the skill differential. Like, when I was playing that game, I'm like, wow, this guy is like Grandmaster's level in terms of his defense. Oh wait, he just clicked a button. And you know what? You know why that's even, I felt the pain of that as like a player, spectator. Like, when I'm playing the game, I'm just like, well, this is dumb. I can only imagine how Diamond, Platinum, Bronze, Silver level Terrans feel when that happens. Because what that means is, if you're little old Jimmy Terran, little old Johnny Terran on the ladder, and you're like Platinum League or Diamond, you're a Diamond Terran, and you're playing against a Protoss player, you're playing somebody that is actually able to defend their base so simply at a Grandmaster Pro level, Protoss level of play, even though they're fucking Diamond or Platinum. That's fucking ridiculous. And that needs to be removed. Anybody that says, you just being toxic and complaining about Protoss. No, I just laid out the facts. I just laid out why that is ridiculous and does not belong in a game of StarCraft. That is fucking stupid. The only people that are ever going to defend Nexus Cannon are Protoss players and Todd. And that's it. Like, shots fired, boom, 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 boom. Those are the only fucking people that'll ever defend such a ridiculous fucking mechanic being in the game. Ever. It needs to be removed, needs to be diminished to the point where you can tell the difference between a Diamond Protoss and a Grandmaster's Protoss or a Pro Gamer Protoss. That's just fucking stupid. Protoss players should be on board with this. You guys should want to be able to show off your skill. You should want, as a Protoss player playing this game, you should want to be able to say, no, I'm actually a Grandmaster's level Protoss. Look at how I defend his attacks compared to how the Diamond player does. I defend way better. This is actually allowing me to show off my skill as a Protoss player. Because right now, it doesn't work like that. You know, Protosses, you deserve all the shit you're getting. Because you don't, you know, Terran players, we when the Hellbat was OP as fuck, we said to nerf it. But when Protoss has equally dumb shit like Blink All-Ins and Mothership Core Nexus Cannon, you guys are perfectly happy getting the free wins. So fuck you guys. We need some good guy Protosses here that actually want to be able to display their skill. That's what I'm saying. If you're a good guy Protoss, then good on you. You should actually want to be able to show off your skill as a StarCraft player. Now, if you're a dumb fuck Protoss, then, you know, you can suck my dick. I'm sorry. With your Protoss telekinetic mouth. Because, really, you're one of the players that is, you know, you're one of those people on the forums that are like, no, Nexus Cannon should exist, because, it just should. I like my free wins. No, shut the fuck up. Get out of here. Go play Hello Kitty. So that's that first thing. So that's, you know, the balance update. David Kim, they're just doing random changes. The Hellion transformation should have been in the game. As for the Terran bio upgrades, stop buffing bio, Blizzard. Like, come on. It's ridiculous that they recognize that removing some of the costs on bio upgrades will help Terran out, but then when I suggest to make Armory price the same as Brood War price by making them 100 minerals, 50 gas, instead of 100 gas, 150 minerals, they just completely ignore that. How about an Armory price reduction to help out mech TVP, another strategy that, you know, Blizzard said they wanted to be viable like a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Guess what? It's still not fucking viable, and Armory price reduction is something they could have done and still could do, and it's obvious they recognize if they could cut the cost on bio upgrades, then bio would be better, so why not do the same thing for mech? Why not make mech TVP allow... The thing is, you get armories later on in the game than you do eBays, so allow a mech and Terran to get their armory out quicker so they can actually upgrade their units and keep up in upgrades with the Protoss. So yeah, a little bit ridiculous. The second thing here, okay, here's the second thing, the main thing this metagame update is going to address. Zerg. Is Zerg imbalanced now against Terran? No. Well, sort of, kind of, but not really. Let me explain. First off, Zerg players right now, Zerg is almost becoming the new Protoss because of the Widowmine nerf. That's right, Terran was over nerfed. The Widowmine nerf was actually really stupid. What you're seeing in a lot of professional games nowadays in TVZ, you're watching the Zerg literally box select their units, Lingbane Muta, and 1A through a field of mines and marines, you know, through a bunch of Widowmines. There could be like 5 or 6 mines. And the mines don't do shit. Like, each mine just kills, like, 2 lings or maybe 3 banelings or something, like... Which, you know, is not good when there's, like, 50 banelings or 50, you know, lings and, like, 20, 25 banelings. You just fucking die. It's like the mines don't even exist. And what needs to happen here, which won't happen because Blizzard doesn't give a shit about this game, but what should happen is they need to revert the Widowmine nerf. That needs to actually go back so that... The game is not hard for only the Terran, but for the Zerg too, so it's equally difficult on both players. And of course Zergs don't want that because they don't want to have to micro their units. But you guys remember, like, pre-patch, really good Zergs, once again. You could tell. they would split some lings off to take the mine hits, and then they could go 1A to their heart's content. They would actually have to micro and split a little bit. Right now, it's basically the Terran is the one only having to split and really do like the heavy micro work, where the Zerg just sort of is like, okay, there's mines there, I don't care, they suck now. So the Widow Mine needs to be reverted for TVZ. That's the first thing for TVZ. It's that simple, really. You don't need to change anything else. You don't need to do anything crazy. When Widow Mine revert, that helps out mech, helps out bio, makes it so Zerg. And the other thing is with the biggest thing right now is the mutalisk. Zerg is brain dead as fuck because of the Widow Mine nerf. Zerg is just literally massing mutas like 90% of the games I play. Whether I go mech or bio, the Zerg's just literally just like muta. They're just like bashing the fucking muta key because they don't care. There's nothing really like mega cost effective that in terms of defense or after the Widow Mine nerf, they don't have to be afraid. Even if I've seen games where mutalisks have actually taken a mine hit and then they just fly away and come back at full health. It's because they don't have to be afraid. The mines don't do shit now, so they should make it so. The Zerg player has to micro too, because bio mine is sort of dead as a strategy. Like you just have to really outplay the Zerg. So they need to revert that change. Make the mine not suck again, because right now it's like the mine doesn't even exist. And of course Terran got nerfed. The other thing is the map pool. Besides the Widow Mine needing to be put back to what it actually was before when Terran didn't suck. On top of the mutalisk being... Remember, the mutalisk actually had, it got a speed buff, a regen buff. I think that's it. So the mutalisk actually got a couple buffs, and the mine helped factor in against that. Whereas right now, they just mass mutas, and because the mines don't really... Not to mention, Zerg players have gotten really good at anti-mine micro. They can actually swoop in with an Overseer, take out a mine before it even detonates like it didn't exist as well. So that's the other thing. I don't think Blizzard anticipated Zergs getting really good with the new mutas, and so they nerfed the mine because people were complaining about the mine when really they shouldn't have done that. And now it's created a new problem in TVZ that should not have existed. It's just that Zergs finally got actually like good at the game. So the mine should go back. But the other thing that I was starting to say about was the maps. The new map pool is incredibly Zerg favored, which is, I guess this is like the third thing, guys. The map pool. You know what? Blizzard tried to pull the wool over everybody's eyes. Is Protoss still broken as fuck? Yes, they are actually. Why do you see less Protosses now? Is it because they balanced Protoss? No, it's not. Here's what happened. And I called this shit right when the new maps came out and I started playing on them. The new maps are Zerg favored. Some of them have really wide open areas in the natural choke point, which is really good for, Zerg all-ins, Roach all-ins, Roach Bane against Terran, just anything involving Roaches, but also against Protoss. Zerg, equally as good against Protoss, which makes the maps tougher for Protoss. So Blizzard didn't really balance Protoss. What they did was they made the map pool so Zerg favored that there's a huge influx of Zerg players. There's less Protosses, and because there's less Protosses, there's slightly more Terrans, because the Protoss is still imba as fuck against Terran, but because there's less Protosses on these new maps, because you play Zerg so much more, it doesn't seem like, oh, okay, looks like Terran's fine against Protoss now, because you never play them anymore. You just play Zergs. You just play TVZ all day long instead of TVP. So that's actually what happened here. That's actually my analysis on what happened. The maps are really Zerg favored. There's a lot more Zergs that are able to play on these and win. Less Protosses, which means more Terrans. Is that balance, Blizzard? Is that really... Can all of us, can we say job well done? They balanced Swarm Host, they balanced Protoss against Terran. No, they didn't do jack shit. What they did was they purposely rigged the maps to be Zerg favored, and they didn't get into the nitty gritty, of software development, which is, in terms of an RTS game, is to actually work on the game and tweak it and balance the game. They did none of that. Instead, they just rigged it. Essentially, and we even saw that we even have confirmation of this from the last DreamHack, where there were a ton of Zergs, there were a lot less Protoss, and then there was a couple, you know, maybe 1 or 2 Terrans. Terran still sucks, of course, because the new maps are... Once again, Terran has trouble against Protoss, but the new maps now make Terran have trouble against Zerg, too! So now Terran is equally doubly fucked. You still suck against Protoss, but now the new maps give Zerg a tiny, you know, a bit of an advantage, a tiny advantage over Terran. So now Terran's taking it 2 ways. You know, it's like, what the fuck, man. So that's, you know, that's what has happened here with that's the metagame. You guys want the real talk? You're not going to get it anywhere else. That's why you came here to watch this, because you know no other caster, no other player in the community is going to give it to you as unfiltered as I am. That's why you guys fucking watch me, you brovolos out there. That's why you know you're here. Good stuff, man. But yeah, I mean, so I guess that's it for this metagame update. I've said, you know, most of it. I covered 3 things: the balance update, what they should be doing. I covered, you know, the map pool. I forgot actually the second thing I covered, but you get the picture, guys. It's, you know, it'd be nice if they actually balanced Protoss against Terran early game instead of just, you know, doing random shit or trying to rig the map pool so there's less Protoss and then just ignore the completely ignore the problem. But you know, that's how they do it. They're working on Heroes of the Storm. They don't give a shit about StarCraft, and I'll keep saying that until they start giving a shit. That's how we do it here. That's how we do it here. We call it how it is. Gotta keep it real. Gotta be honest. You know, they're probably working on Heroes of the Storm or whatever. They don't give a shit about StarCraft. It's obvious. If they did, then they would. And when they start giving a shit, then I'll acknowledge it that they give a shit. But right now, it looks like they honestly don't give a fuck. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you were entertained and hope I enlightened you a little bit, and, you know, hope I gave some good analysis on why the current metagame is the way it is. So yeah, peace out, guys. See you guys later. Peace. I'll be on stream later today. Be there. www.twitch.tv/Avilo. That advertisement. See you guys later.